Good afternoon, ma'am. Firstly, I would like to thank you on the behalf of the North Pointers for spending your valuable time and knowledge with us. We absolutely enjoyed your session, especially when you explained about ethnography and inciting. There are a bunch of questions that I would like to ask you, so shall I proceed?
Sure, please.
Yeah. Since your background is in sociology and you have been in the research industry for over 17 years, can you talk about the journey of entering the market research industry and tell us how qualitative research has evolved over time with the advancement in technology?
Sure. So I joined, like I said, I joined research from a very academic background. I've done my master's in sociology, like you said. So in sociology, the core is really to understand people, it's to understand cultures, it's to understand society. And from there, market research becomes a very intuitive link because that's what we try to do day in and day out. We try to understand people, we try to understand behavior, we try to understand culture, and we also see how these cultural narratives later can build brand stories. So that is what one link between my academic life and my career, which still kind of connects very well, and that's why I still find it very interesting. So how I chose market research, it happened by chance. So I was not planning to get into research per se, but I did an internship where I worked with real live data, which was to really understand, at that time to understand smokers and what were the different needs from smoking and tobacco and so I just found the whole lens of putting human motivations very fascinating, and the needs which made me want to see what else it had to do and what else I could do. So, and that's how I joined many years ago. I joined IMRB after that, and then now I'm in Nielsen. Coming to Qual, how has Qual evolved? Well, I think Qual has evolved to a great extent. And what we are looking at today is a very interesting time in Qual, where, human insights are still at the core, but there is just so much you can learn and borrow from other disciplines to make more sense and more value. Like you can borrow from psychology to understand how the human brain thinks. You can borrow from behavioral economics to see how behavior, what is really motivating a particular behavior, what are the unstated needs, what are the barriers why someone is not doing something. And lastly, technology. I think technology has just opened the worldview of qualitative rather than limiting it. So I don't think AI is a threat. I don't think technology is a threat. Rather, I think technology can be interlinked with qualitative very well and even made even more powerful. For instance, you can use technology to tap into so many people and move beyond your limited sample size in qualitative. So it's almost like doing a quantitative study in qualitative nature. And there are so many platforms which allow it today. Second way in which technology really helps is it really helps you capture in the moment consumer behavior, which earlier was only about stated, or it was through someone filling up a diary. Today it's very simple. You can record what you're doing, upload it on a dashboard, and you can really see what the consumer was doing or is doing. It's as real time as that. So that's the second thing I think how good technology has helped. And thirdly, I think technology has come in and it has helped us, analyze in a much more smarter way. The way they kind of put data together, the way they put all the videos together. So accessing data has also become easy with technology.
So can you share with us one research that you were a part of where some very interesting findings emerged during a qualitative research?
Well, all of them are very, very interesting. It's going to be very difficult for me to pinpoint one such study. But like I said, there was one study which we are, actually it's 2-3 studies together. I wouldn't pinpoint one study, but I think just understanding Gen Z, I find that very interesting. So, I'm a millennial or a post-millennial or whatever you call me, but the Gen Zs are a very interesting cohort, and it's really nice researching on them. So we've done a lot of work actually in the last 2 years to understand Gen Zs from a couple of lenses. One is, how does the Gen Z really look at aspirations? What do they really want to do? What are their fears? How do they really look at this whole construct of work, life, and play? And how are they integrating the three? And finally, this whole pride in India, which is something we see with the Gen Zs, very optimistic of new India, this pride in India. And what is this pride in India all about, and what can brands do?
Right.
So that's a very interesting piece of work which we're recently doing with multiple.
It seems very
categories.
interesting, yes. Also, since this is your first time here at NorthPoint, could you kindly tell us about your experience in terms of interacting with the students, the campus?
Well, it's a beautiful campus, and I'm really sad that I'm not staying back. I think it's gorgeous, the view is lovely, and it's so calm, quiet, doesn't seem like you're a part of, from Bombay. This is a very good change. I think you guys are having a wonderful time here. And interacting with all of you, I think I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You all are so bright, full of enthusiasm, and there is just so much of energy in all of you, and this whole curiosity to learn. I think keep the curiosity going. Curiosity will take you very, very far, and that's one trait I see in all of you. And yes, and just be a little bold. Don't be fearful.
Yeah, likewise, ma'am. We are so lucky to have you here.
Thank
We are
you.
learning from the best.
Thank you. It's a
What
pleasure.
would you like to recommend students like us who are about to enter the field of market research?
Well, a couple of things. One is, break your biases.
Yeah.
Don't get into field or understanding consumers with a preconceived notion, whether it's a culture, whether it's a cohort, whether it's a particular gender. Don't get in with biases, because your biases will be broken, and so go with a very open mind. Second thing is, look at the unstated, because that's where the real data lies. Like I said, people always don't express things in words. There are a lot of unstated things. Notice the unstated and the unsaid, and the power of observation.
Right.
That is very, very important. And lastly, again, keep the curiosity on. The moment you're curious, you will find many, many more layers, which will all add together and make a beautiful story.
Right. Thank you for your time, and those are basically all the questions I had for you today. There's a small token of appreciation from all of us.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Oh, there are
Thank
chats. Okay, thank you. I'll read it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.